Hello. Today I will be talking about the Black Swan, which our group has decided to do an analysis over obsessive compulsive disorder. My counselor, Mary Anthony, Henry Beckham, and Braden Clark have all contributed within this project. So, description and context. Nina Sayers, who's portrayed by Natalie Portman in Black Swan, is a gifted and ambitious ballerina for the New York City Ballet Company. Nina is constantly in an environment that is solely focused on perfection, where she's chosen to play the innocent part of the White Swan. Nina is faced with extreme pressure to succeed from her mother, which creates compulsions of perfectionism. Her failure in this role would send her into a downward spiral, which would only contribute more to the high pressure world of professional dance. All of these environments that Nina was placed in contributed to the ample space there was for mental disorders to occur within her life. So, the diagnosis that we've come up with as we analyzed, watched, and took notes on Black Swan was that Nina struggles with obsessive compulsive disorder. And so, this is based off of the symptoms that she is doing throughout the movie and the evidence that is seen throughout. OCD is explained as a mental disorder that causes those affected to struggle with recurring, unwanted, persistent, and intrusive thoughts or obsessions, and to act upon these thoughts through repetitive behaviors or compulsions. So, many internal and external factors that contribute to Nina's development of OCD. There's many of them throughout the movie that we'll see, and this is a big part of obsessive compulsive disorder. And so then there's also the culture of dance around her that is subject to intense training, competition, criticism. And then this lends to a culture and atmosphere that is driven by perfection. And then this constant amount of pressure of perfectionism from external factors created an internal battle of compulsion that this was mandatory to be successful within the ballet company, leading to OCD. And so Nina had the belief that the only way that she was going to be successful was through being perfect in everything that she did. So, some evidence that we see of OCD. The first would be in Nina's continuous repetition of the performance of the Black Swan by meticulously rehearsing the sections of her routine to ensure that every single perfection or every single execution that she would do would be perfect. And so this ends up leading to malnourishment of the dancer and serves perfectionist compulsions over and over and over again. And then skin picking is another compulsion that we'll see. This is also a symptom of anxiety that Nina uses as a coping mechanism to try and calm the obsession of perfection that she has down. And so, seen throughout the Black Swan, we can tell that she compulsively picks at her cuticles and then the skin on her shoulder blades until it is raw. And so, this is a compulsion that we see often within patients that struggle with OCD. So, treatment that us as a group has decided would be successful for Nina is exposure and response prevention. And so, in this treatment, Nina would slowly be re exposed to the stimuli that is causing inflammation within her compulsions. While it takes time to reintroduce this, her sensitivity to stimuli would eventually diminish. Nina is constantly exposed within this environment, making it suitable. And then she also has the opportunity to slowly reemerge into activities that are at the root of her compulsions. However, there is a large hurdle with this treatment that there would be extreme uncomfort for the patient as it may bring up old or current triggers, and this could be challenging for the patient to endure. There are also social and cultural barriers, and some may declare this as unethical and forceful upon a patient. And then lastly, broader perspective. So within Black Swan, this is probably not the most accurate representation of OCD, as it does capture the torment of Nina's thoughts, which is current and present within OCD patients, but it is very dramatized within the film, and the compulsions may not be clinically accurate. This can cause misunderstanding to viewers of exactly what OCD is within the blending of it with other disorders. So, Nina also struggles with an eating disorder, and so it could be blended with that. And then, lastly, this film does, however, bring life to the absolutely detrimental effects that can be caused by OCD, rather than the way that society can sometimes mold it to be less life altering than it actually is. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, thanks and gig 'em.